All right, we're live here pretty quick, so. I love it, you start watching it, we're upside down, then flips over where it's at.
I get seasick.
I can't do that.
Is it upside down?
Only at the first, and then it flips.
Until the camera does its rotate.
Okay, I'll call to order this city council meeting for May 12th, 2022. Everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Dave Webb.
Here.
Kevin Kadada. Here. Tim Root.
Here.
Cindy Fier.
Here,
And Scott Palava.
Here.
Okay, tonight's agenda goes through 10F. Any additions, deletions, or corrections to the agenda?
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
Motion by Councilman Palava,
second?
second by Councilman Webb. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Approval of minutes, consider approval of the minutes from the April 28th, 2022 regular meeting. No additions, deletions, or corrections to the minutes.
Approve the minutes.
Motion by Councilman Kadada,
Second?
second by Councilperson Fier. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. There are no public hearings. On to presentation of citizens' petitions and comments. Comments limited to 2 minutes. So if you're not on the agenda, you have the opportunity to speak. 3 items tonight on the consent agenda. Consider approval to not waive the monetary limits on municipal tort liability established by Minnesota Statute 466.04. Consider approval of an application and permit for a 1-day to 4-day temporary on-sale liquor license requested by the Church of the Immaculate Conception. Consider acknowledgement of a municipal lawful gambling LG 220 application for exempt permits submitted by the Church of the Immaculate Conception with no waiting period. Would anybody like any of those items pulled for discussion?
I approve the consent agenda.
Motion by Councilman Kadada,
Second.
second by Councilman Palava. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. There is no old business, on to new business. Consider approval of application for payment number 14 in the amount of $67,067.15 to Key Contractors, Inc. for the police facility. John McNamara of Wold.
I know you were probably hoping that Melissa was still
I
going to be
was just gonna
here.
say that, but you know, I just.
Yeah, she's still hanging in there, but not traveling, so she sends her best. So we are here tonight just to give the council an update on construction. As most of you are probably aware, things are coming to rapidly closing. Most of the interior work is done, painting, tile, cabinets. There are some phenolic cabinets, which are the heavier cabinets for the garage and for a couple areas that are still going to be installed in the coming weeks. The exciting stuff is you'll start to see some of the site work come together. Curb and gutter will start next week, and we expect that if they stay on the schedule that they have, that much of the site work will be done in the next next couple of weeks, probably by early June, and then it'll just be finishing up loose ends. There are a couple of delay issues with some boilers and some other things that we've worked through with them, and that shouldn't hold up finishing the work in June. Last we had heard that they've got the issue with the boilers resolved and that new boilers are coming and should be there within the week or so. Metal panels, I'm hearing, are in town, not like here in town, but in town being bent right now, so those should be coming to the building soon. We will have a storm door for the storm shelter that's outstanding, but nothing that will keep us from moving forward with occupancy of the building. And so our last schedule from the contractor suggested that they'll still be done in that early June timeframe, give or take a few days. Furniture is scheduled to arrive at this point in time on July 1st. There was a little bit of a delay in furniture from the manufacturer, but they have a 1-day install, so they should be done, with the furniture install soon after. All of the electronics are coming together for the building. Exterior is wrapping up, so like I said, we really are down to the last month, month and a half of construction on there. And so things are coming to a head and should be ready for ribbon cutting open house in July as what we had planned. So we'll start working with the police department on plans to get into the building, and that should be an exciting time. So if there's no questions, or if there are questions from council, we'd be happy to answer them, but tonight we're really just looking for a continuation of payment to the contractor of their pay request that's on the agenda tonight.
Any comments from your meetings?
No,
or-
it's moving along. The trailer's gone.
Fence is gone?
Fence is gone, yep, the building is completely secured. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of little stuff, but it's a pretty cool setup right now. Every day there's a little bit more that's been wrapped up, so yeah, it's just those couple items that we're waiting on that have been hanging out there, but it looks like we'll be right on schedule and up to speed.
Good, good,
It's a very nice looking building.
good.
Does look really nice, thanks.
Only the best for our police department.
Yes.
So we got the pay request for 67,067. I'll make a motion to approve that.
Motion by Councilman Palava,
Second?
second by Councilperson Fear. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank
Great.
you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you
you.
very much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too. Introduction of part-time police officer Brody Cup. Jason Schmitz, Chief of Police. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. Officer Brody Cup was hired as a part-time police officer for the city of Lonsdale back in September of 2021. Officer Cup is a resident of Lonsdale and graduated from New Prague. Officer Cup attended Alexandria Technical and Community College, where he received his Associates of Applied Science in Law Enforcement in 2021. Officer Cup finished his field training process and has been on his own for the past 4 months. He is eager to work and continues to improve and learn as an officer. He's been extremely helpful filling shifts and available to work on short notice. I'm very happy to have Officer Cup as an officer for the Lonsdale Police Department, serving the community of Lonsdale. And then I just kind of gave you what our current staffing levels are at. And with that, if you have any questions for me.
Welcome, sir. Would you like to say a few words, or?
Name's Brody Cup. Really grateful for the opportunity to serve everyone in the community. I know it's been a great couple of months so far, and I look forward to connecting with the community and working for the city upcoming. Very thankful.
Good. Welcome.
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 Thank you.
Very much. Nice to see you around. We even got Andrew here tonight.
Camera coming
You're
on
gonna be
now.
big time.
Your autograph would be worth something.
Too much for the paper, doesn't it?
We don't swear in our officers, huh? Say that again.
Welcome. All right.
Welcome,
Keep
best
up
of
the
luck.
good work.
That's
They do. But he is a New Prague Trojan, so that's a good sign already, you know? Now there's 3 of us in the building.
Yeah, yeah. Yes.
All right. Well, best of luck. Consider approval of application for payment number 1 in the amount of $103,805.32 to BCM Construction for the 2022 Street and Utility Improvement Project. Mr. Erickson.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. This is the first application for payment for this year's street project. It's in the amount of $103,805.32. It represents work completed through the end of April, which was clearing and grubbing of trees, the bituminous pavement removal, curb and driveway removals, traffic control, the temporary water system, and also some new sections of water main in the Arizona street right-of-way. It represents 8% of the project bid. It does account for retaining 5% of retainage, which is per our contract. Just a quick Update on the project. The contractor is done installing the water main on Phase 1, which would be the Arizona Street right-of-way, 4th Avenue, and then Alabama between 4th and 3rd. Next week, they plan to install the services on that water main, and after that, begin the sanitary sewer repairs that were included in the project. So,
I had a question. I had somebody ask me about the sewer repair. So we're only doing repairs, we're not doing complete replacement of the sanitary sewer?
that is
All
correct.
right, and that's because that's PVC, or that's the durable piping, it doesn't deteriorate?
Correct.
Okay.
So if there's sags in the pipe, like along 3rd Avenue, that's being replaced, or manholes, if, connections, things like that.
Okay,
There was 2 Y connections that were cracked through Cameron. So
Okay.
those are being repaired. And then in front of Smoke, there's a 100-foot section that had a big sag in it.
okay,
So that is the sewer repairs that we're
Okay.
doing this year.
okay. But so we didn't need to do full sanitary replacement, there wasn't a bad enough shape?
And we haven't in any of our
Okay,
recons.
just wanted to clarify, they asked about that, so, okay.
Did you have much, was there much comment about tree removal?
There was a couple, but not as much as past projects.
Okay.
I guess I haven't heard too much,
I haven't
actually.
either. It's actually, they're making pretty good time.
Yeah, yeah.
I move we approve pay voucher number 1 in the amount of $103,805.32 to BCM.
Motion by Councilperson Fuhr,
Second.
second by Councilman Kadada. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider approval of a sewer rate adjustment for the property located at 123 Main Street South. Mr. Erickson.
Thank you, Mayor. Staff was questioning on the amount of a monthly utility bill from the property located at 123 Main Street South. We did provide the owner the usage history, and based off of that, suggested that he look to see if he had any leaking toilets, things like that, that would cause the increased water usage. After that, it was determined that there was a toilet and a faucet leaking, and also the water softener was consistently regenerating. All 3 of those items have been fixed. Because the usage is consistent with the previous 3 months prior to when the leak began, staff's recommending that the average for the remainder of the year for the sewer rate be 18,000 gallons. This would result in a savings to the owner of approximately $132. Alternatives would be to not approve the requested sewer rate adjustment, or determine a different way to calculate the usage compared to what was recommended by staff. Excuse me. And then also included in this is the usage history, which shows that the 18,000 is consistent with the prior month. So staff would recommend approval of the requested sewer rate adjustment.
I think this is another good reason to do these monthly and
Every
not
month, yep.
quarterly.
And we've done this
Yep.
how many dozens of times, and consistency is important. Make a motion to approve the sewer rate adjustment for 123 Main Street South.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Palava, second by Councilman Webb. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider approval of a sewer rate adjustment for the property located at 1021 Bluff Heights Drive Southeast. Mr. Erickson.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. The property owner at 1021 Bluff Heights Drive Southeast is requesting a sewer rate adjustment due to a leaky toilet. Since the water was used, the leak has been fixed, and the water usage in April did go back to what was normal prior to the leak. This would result in a sewer rate average of 4,000 gallons per month for the remainder of the year, and a savings of just under $50 to the property owner for the remainder of the year. The alternative would be to not approve the requested sewer rate adjustment, or determine another way to calculate that average. And as with the last agenda item, the usage history is provided along with the property owner's notes on what the issue was and that it was resolved.
And move
we approve the adjustment.
Motion by Councilman Kadada,
Second?
second by Councilperson Fear. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider approval to make a conditional job offer to Gerald Popick as seasonal public works employee at grade 1, step 4, $14.92 an hour. Mr. Erickson.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. At the last council meeting, the city council made a conditional job offer to one of the applicants as a seasonal employee. Since then, and due to unforeseen circumstances, that applicant is no longer able to work this season. Therefore, staff contacted Gerald Povic to see if he was still interested in working seasonally. He had, prior to the council meeting, had submitted an application. Povic said that he was, because he's retired and looking to keep busy. As with the other seasonals, he cannot work more than 6 months from the first day of work, otherwise the city and employee will have to contribute to PERA. Mr. Povic was interviewed and hired last year, but due to the dry season there wasn't as much mowing needed, so he didn't actually work. Based on the availability of seasonal employees, most will work Mondays and Tuesdays, and half of them will work the remainder of the week. The financial impact to the city, we've budgeted $37,000 for seasonal public works employees. And as far as alternatives would be to not make a conditional job offer to Mr. Povic. And then included with the staff report is the 100-point rating and application materials.
It was budgeted for and approved at the last meeting for another employee, so I don't see any problem with it. Therefore, I move we approve.
Motion by Councilman Kadada,
Second.
second by Councilman Palava. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That concludes the planned agenda. On to department reports. Mr. Vlasak.
Mr. Mayor, City Council, like Joe stated, the water main on 4th and County Road 4 and 4th Avenue in Alabama are in. We did charge it today. They started doing services today, so they're a little ahead of schedule from starting next week, so that's good for them. Also, we are doing crack fill right now, trying to get that completed. We are working with Montgomery this year again, like we have in the past. Couple of years we haven't worked with them, but we're back into that. They send 2 people over to help us, and then we'll send 2 people over to help them, keeping track of hours and stuff like that. Other than that, we're hoping to haul biosolids here soon. We're hoping to have those out before, but weather conditions are not favorable. Other than that, there's a lot of things going on. Parks are up and running and trying to keep them clean.
They look good. I saw the soccer field all striped up. That looks sharp.
Yeah, good. Good
Thank
deal.
you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Erickson.
Excuse me. Well, since the last council meeting, attended several election training meetings. We've got a primary to fill Mr. Hagedorn's vacated seat on Tuesday, March 24th. The city clerk, or city treasurer, excuse me, and myself virtually met with several software companies for accounting, payroll, and utility billing. The last 3 days, myself, Chief Schmitz, and Fire Chief Faluk attended NIMS training down at Rice County. Next week, I've got a meeting down in Rochester for Southeast Minnesota Region 10, our economic development plan that we've got to participate in and submit to the federal government to be eligible for economic development grants. And I think that is it for now. So.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Baker. Just been doing some park planning, and now that it's springtime, we've got a lot of sheds, decks, parking pad, and fence permits coming in, so it's that season again.
Thank you. Councilman Webb.
Nothing new to report this time.
Councilman Kadada.
I have nothing to eat.
Councilperson Fear.
The liquor board met Monday evening. That was our last meeting until September. Went over as far as what inventory was. Some projects that are upcoming will be some renovations in the front entry. There's some tile that's coming off the wall, and there's been some wear and tear there, so we're looking into getting some repairs there. Also possibly some landscaping that'll be done around the outside of the building. So those are projects in the works.
Good, good. Thank you for all your work.
Thank you.
Councilman Palava?
EDA meets next Thursday, so I don't have any update on that.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I don't have too much either, other than the chamber events and all that kind of stuff coming up, but sure is a busy place around town, though, I will say that. Oh, my gosh. And just to reiterate from our previous meeting, we should probably try to decide something by the 26th, by next council meeting, which way we're headed. I mean, he gave a good presentation. I mean, so I think, we should think about open-minded and see what we want there, The bigger thing is, ideally, it'd be nice to have developers for the perimeter land around town, That's what really needs to fly. We'll have to work on that, but.
It's tough to just kind of plop that into an existing neighborhood, the neighborhood builds around it, it's there.
Yeah, yeah. But we'll kick it around and see what people think, and we'll decide in a couple of weeks. That's about all I have.
Move adjourned.
Motion by Councilman Kadada,
Second.
second by Councilman Palava. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. This meeting is adjourned.